Chicago Bulls, photo by Rich Barnes, Getty Images. The Chicago Bulls have been playing better as of late, but that might not be a good thing. The Bulls have been out of the playoff race since the season started. While it's nice to see the Bulls core playing well, all it is doing is damaging the Bulls' draft position. As of right now, the Bulls are slated to pick 4th overall in the July draft. While that might seem like a high pick, the top 3 picks in the draft are determined, as there is a trio of premier prospects that look destined for stardom. However, while the Bulls sit on the outside looking in on that top 3, there is still an abundance of desirable young prospects that will be available for the Bulls at pick 4. The Bulls, regardless of their draft spot, will certainly be adding another piece to the rebuild. With their highest pick in over 10 years looming, the Bulls absolutely need to get this draft right. They've done a good enough job in the past couple of years, but considering their high pick, the Bulls need to nail their selection in order to progress the rebuild into its deeper stages. Luckily for the Bulls, there is a fairly obvious pick at number 4. In our last mock draft, that pick was Ja Morant. Recently, Morant's stock has risen, and it is in all likelihood that Morant will be gone by pick 4. Nonetheless, I like the Bulls' chances of getting a star, even if it might be outside the top 3. Let's get to know the prospects who we could be seeing for many years in Chicago. Page 2 Chicago Bulls, photo by Streeter Letska, Getty Images. 1 For the second draft in a row, the Bulls go with a Duke freshman in the first round. This time around, the Blue Devil is Cam Reddish. Reddish, a highly touted forward, is averaging 14 points per game for Duke. Reddish was one of the top 5 recruits in the country heading into the season, and has lived up to that billing throughout his freshman year. Reddish plants an excellent shot despite struggling at times with his shooting this season. Reddish is a high-level 3-and-D wing, but has the ability to be one of the best pure shooters in the NBA. Moreover, Reddish would fit perfectly into the Bulls lineup. As a player that can play both shooting guard and small forward, Reddish's versatility would play well with the Bulls core. As the Bulls have went with forwards, centers in the last 2 drafts, going with a guard or forward is an absolute must. Past Morant, there aren't any point guards that are worthy of going as high in the draft as the Bulls will be picking, so in all likelihood, the Bulls will be going with a shooting guard or small forward. The Bulls would by no means be settling for Reddish. Reddish is a premier talent, but is overshadowed by the other superstar freshman on his Duke team. In any other draft, Reddish would easily be a top 3 prospect. Ultimately, the Bulls would be landing an absolute gem in Reddish. The young forward's shooting ability and raw athleticism gives him incredibly high upside, which is exactly what the Bulls will be looking for after a second consecutive season without postseason basketball. Page 3 Chicago Bulls, photo by Ryan M. Kelly, Getty Images. 2 Ty Jerome point guard. Virginia adding a point guard in the forthcoming offseason is an absolute must for the Bulls. The point guard position has lacked depth throughout the season, and the Bulls would be very well suited to take advantage of the slew of young guards that should be available in the early second round. Perhaps the most appealing of those point guards for the Bulls is Ty Jerome. Jerome, a junior, is averaging 13 points and 5.0 assists per game for the Virginia Cavaliers. Jerome is one of the best pure shooters in the country, and flaunts an impressive 44% field goal percentage, as well as a 42% clip from 3. Virginia put on an offensive clinic in their beatdown of. It was largely orchestrated by Ty Jerome, whose extraordinary skill level and basketball IQ was on full display with 14 points and 12 assists. Here are some highlights. Pic.twitter.com/4highwizgwid, Jonathan Givany, @DraftExpress, January 16, 2019. Jerome is a great facilitator in addition to his great shooting, and would be a good fit for a young, three-point-oriented Bulls team next season. Jerome's shooting would add on to an already rich lineup of shooters, while his premier passing would spread the floor, and make the offense far more efficient than it has been this season. Jerome's stock is on the rise, and the point guard could indeed rise to the late first round. However, most scouts have Jerome slotted in the early second round, which would be a true steal for the Bulls. Jerome's shooting ability will keep him in the NBA for a long time, which is another area that the Bulls would certainly like to add on to. Next, Bulls fans are stuck with the same old: if the Bulls can leave the 2019 NBA draft with two high upside shooters, then the draft will be a true success. The Bulls need star power, and the shooting strokes of Reddish and Jerome give them just that. Page 4. Yes, you have heard by now that the Chicago Bears season ended on the missed field goal by Cody Parkey. Everyone is tired of hearing about it, but until they have an established kicking game, it will continue to be brought up. And to tell the truth, that is a good thing. It was a glaring issue all season long, and nothing was done about it. Management should be held accountable to fix the problem. Is there a better way to fix the problem than one of the elite kickers on planet Earth? That is the option that was presented on Tuesday when the New England Patriots decided not to franchise tag their kicker Stephen Gostkowski. Of course, that does not guarantee that he leaves New England. Why would he? He has a chance to kick in the Super Bowl just about every year with that team. Well, the answer could be given by the Bears. They appear to be a true team on the rise, with similar aspirations as the Patriots. If you add an elite kicker to this squad, they might be the best team on paper in the NFC going into the season. Of course, there is the draft and free agency that could change things, but they will certainly be viewed as one of the favorites on the conference. The Bears offering him enough money and pitching him on their future might persuade him to leave and come to Chicago. So what would the Bears actually be getting in Gostkowski? Well, his stats say it all. His field goal percentage over his career is 87.4%, and his extra point attempts are at a near-perfect 98.9%. It really does not get much better than that. On top of the stats, adding a kicker of his caliber would alter the stigma around the position that was left behind by Cody Parkey. You would think that everyone would almost forget about it if they added Gostkowski to the mix. All Bears fans want is to watch this team win a Super Bowl so they can get past 1985. A Bears team that wins the Super Bowl in modern day will be considered royalty in this city forever. This would give them an even better chance than they already have in 2019. It would be up to Ryan Pace and company to add a kicker like Gostkowski and make sure the position is stable going forward.